travel is the fastest growing mode of transportation, becoming even more popular nowadays. This is due to the rapid economic growth and globalization. This rapid growth of air transportation required high capacity infrastructure and superior facilities. In order to cater this demand, Kuala Lumpur International Airport 2, which is also known as KLIA 2, was planned. The KLIA 2 is built to cater for the explosive growth in low-cost travel industry. This airport is capable of accommodate 45 million passengers a year. The KLIA 2 is located 2 km away from KLIA with the total area of 257,000 meters square. The total cost of the KLIA 2 is 4 billion. Although this kind of massive development is important for the country's economic growth, it also never failed to give some impact to environment. The construction of KLIA 2 is also one of its kind, where it gives negative impact to environment during construction and also after construction. As I mentioned before, the construction of KLIA 2 give impacts to environment after and during construction. For the further detail about the impact to the environment during and after construction, let's meet Miss Nazirah, who is site engineer of the KLIA 2, to ask about the impact. Miss Nazirah, can you explain about what are the impact of the project to the environment during construction?
Okay. There are several major impact for this project. There is landside, air pollution and noise pollution. For the first one is landside. The cut and fill work usually will change the natural topography of the land.
There are foremost changes to the land use and activities around the airport to adapt with the development. Land use and topography change disrupt the natural drainage of the area and surrounding areas to the site.
Okay, for the second impact is air pollution. The use of heavy machinery such as articulated trucks, excavators and others lead to air pollution.
The traffic flow of these machineries make the air surrounding become hazy. The releases of carbon dioxide from a flight is depend on many different factors including distance travel, weather conditions, cargo load, passenger load and flight altitude.
The third impact is noise pollution. During airport expansion, the noises is caused by construction works such as piling.
The urban residents are much more affected by noise pollution, but small towns alongside roads or industries are also face the same problem.
Miss Nazirah, as we all know, the project also gives impact to environment after construction. Can you explain more about that?
The impact after construction is for air pollutant is airport operation produce various regulated pollutants including volatile organic compound VOC, carbon monoxide and particulate matter. For the second impact for this project is noise pollution. After expansion, the noise pollution still occur by aircraft noise. This is because of amount of air traffic is rising related to aircraft departure and arrival routes. For the third impact for this project is climate change. Global warming accelerates by all gases that released by aircraft. Excessive amount of CO2 and nitrogen oxide and other greenhouse gases into atmosphere.
Thank you for the information, Ms. Nazirah.
Welcome.
Environmental impact assessment, also known as EIA, is very important for every project in order to identify the impact of the project to the environment. To get the more information about the EIA that carried out for this project, we meet the environmental officer, Ms. SHAMIMI, to get more information. Okay. Ms. Mimi, as the environmental officer of this project, can you tell us the extent of EIA?
EIA, or Environmental Impact Assessment, is there on certain development project to assess every consequences coming from the project towards the environmental and surrounding, be it positive or negative impact. EIA makes sure that the environmental impacts are being considered thoroughly before going on with the construction. The purpose of EIA is to ensure that the developers take into account of the impact from the project to the environment in accordance to detailed environmental studies, as well as public comments regarding any potential impacts on the environment and surrounding.
Ms. Shamimi, is the KLIA-2 project need EIA?
Yes, the project needs EIA since construction of new airport or expanding infrastructure creates environmental disturbance, namely noise and air pollution. KLIA-2 project is estimated to take up 242,000 square meter of land, and EIA is needed especially when the construction involves river and residential areas, as the development would significantly affect this area. The project of EIA would be best if it comes together with Energy Management System or EMS, which is a system of controlling and monitoring the energy performance of the project. It is not compulsory to have EMS, but with EMS, the source of environment can be more preserved by optimizing the usage of energy.
Ms. Shamimi, thank you so much for the explanation about EIA.
You are most welcome.
The every impact of the project to the environment need to be solved in order to safeguard the environment. In order to that, let's meet the project manager of KLIA, Ms. Fatin, to ask about the solution for the impact of the project to environment. Ms. Fatin, there are few impacts that caused by this airport expansion. Do you think this impact can be solved?
Yes, even though we have found a few impacts for this project, but we also have found a few solutions for this project, so this project can be carried out smoothly and safely.
This airport expansion project will cause many problems prior the project process. This project might lead to noise and air pollution during its progress. So, before this project expansion can be carried out, the responsible authority should be aware and concerned about the effect of the overall construction process towards environmental condition. Prior the airport expansion project, a few measures should be considered to identify the environmental impact during the construction project. The measures that should be considered includes the identification of sensitive environmental areas or users that may be affected by the construction project. Besides that, it is important to identify whether the residents nearby will be affected by the pollution or not. Before this construction project starts, we need to monitor the baseline of air and water quality and also the ambient noise level adjacent to the project site. There is also a need to conduct an assessment of expected noise level from this construction activity, which may...
Ms. Fatin, from your opinion, how to solve the community severity caused by the airport expansion?
Okay, in order to implement this expansion project, it is necessary to establish the environment management practices, which is also known as EMP. The main objective for EMP is to develop the environment management plan to reduce bad impact of construction to the environment. There are a few measures that should be taken into consideration. For example, an environmental management system should be considered as a prerequisite in preparation of environment plan. So, based on these measures, the plan can be updated to meet new risks and the improvement can be made to achieve the project's goal.
Thank you so much for your information, Ms. Fatin.
Okay, you are welcome.
There are few laws that was enforced by government in order to safeguard the environment during construction and after construction. Let's meet Ms. Ayu, who is the legal advisor for KLIA-2 project, who will explain about the act that related to this project.
So I'm going to tell a little bit about that act related issue to the KLIA-2, which is first Street Drainage and Building Act 1974, clause number 10. Approved a plan expired. All plans for the making street to the KLIA area approved under the provisions of any written law. In clause number 11, extent of liability of owner when expenses exceeded. If expenses incurred by the local authority in executing the street work showing the final apportionment is the estimated expenses, and the developer affected shall not be able to pay that part of expenses. Next is land conservation. Act 1960 restrictions on the clearing and cultivation of hidden land. No person shall clear any trees or plants without permit. If any person who fails to comply with terms or conditions prescribed in permit issue after subsections 1 shall be deemed to have contradicted this Act, and which is stated in clause 6.2, and the last is clause 13.3a. The officer in charge of any drainage area may notice in writing require the owner or occupier of any land to reject such area within such time as may be specified in the notice note, may comply with such notice within time.
In conclusion, sustainable development which balance the social, economic and environment is vital for our country to achieve Vision 2020. In order to safeguard the environment, government and developers need to give more attention to the environment during the planning of development. Environmental impact assessment is one of the ways to achieve sustainable development which favor social, economic as well as environment. Reported by MangaiBagan son of Rajandran for UMP channel from location of KLIA 2.